Court is calling 2025 CR 00275 State versus Renee Gomez. Could I have parties announced?
Attorney Bill Simmons for defense.
And are you Mr. Gomez?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated third or more? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the plea bargain agreement with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. The state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years, that there be a TAP evaluation, DWI intervention, VIP live, ignition interlock for half the term, and 2-year Texas driver's license suspension. And did you also understand that the court can order 10 days in the Bexar County Jail as a condition of your probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
After reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We would just pray that the court follow the plea agreement. We would also ask the court to give consideration to his indigent status and needing to work. He knows that he'll need to obtain an occupational license and would need permission from the court to move around from that perspective. His driver's license has been suspended for 80 days. It's caused him some issues, but he has not been driving at all. So we would ask the court to give some consideration on the driver's license suspension length.
All right. What do you do for work?
Construction, concrete,
And how old are you, sir?
ma'am,
How old are you?
59, gonna be 59 June.
Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday upcoming.
Thank you.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 10 years, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want a referral to felony drug court and also a TAP evaluation out of custody. Follow recommendations. 120 sober meetings in 120 days. The DWI intervention course. DWI education. Victim impact live. Ignition interlock for half the term. 2-year license suspension. Does he want to do 10 days at the Bexar County Jail or 10 days on GPS?
GPS, Your Honor.
All right, there should be, I'm sorry, not 10 days on GPS. It would be 20 because if he wants it partial. If he doesn't want a partial, then he have to do 10 days full house arrest.
Can I have 10 seconds?
Sure.
Your Honor, if I can, just to verify for the record. So you understand the 10 days, the court would allow you to do 10 days of GPS at home, you would not be able to work. It's full house arrest. That's what she meant by partial. So the 20 days, you would be able to get permission from probation officers approved by the court for work purposes. And it will be for the GPS, for you to have the GPS, and that will be in lieu of you being taken into custody for an additional 10 days. So those are the options. So I believe, Judge, we'd like to do the 20.
20.
Okay. All right, there's to be 20 days of GPS. Partial for employment.
And if to bring to the court's attention, he's already on GPS. So just so the court knows, I don't know if the court can or would give him credit for the time he's been on
Yeah.
GPS already anyway.
There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. 200 hours of community service restitution. What do you do in your free time?
Well, I guess I'm gonna be doing that.
Yeah. What do you do on your free time? What do you normally do?
Relax. After work, you mean? That's what I do after work.
Relax and drink.
No.
That's why we're here for DWIs.
It's on a special occasion, that's it, you know. It's
What was
not-
your-
It's not an everyday thing.
What was your special occasion on this day?
Pardon? Like
Huh?
Halloween party.
All right, and what was your special occasion for the other two DWIs?
Oh, just festivals.
Mhm.
That's how we look at it.
Yeah, so here's
I'm
the
not a
thing.
drinker every day. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm seriously, I'm not. What you call a social drinker on special.
So you
events.
just drink to intoxication?
You don't say that, that's fine. That's
Well, I mean, no,
No,
this is,
yeah, I'm just telling you, I go to family functions and we drink and.
And then you
I
drive.
just take out, yes.
all right.
That's everything.
So you drink and you drive and you drink to intoxication. Yeah, I mean, and you've done this before. All right, so there's gonna be 200 hours community service restitution. All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. It appears to the court, you have a problem. And you are minimizing your problem. I know a lot of people who celebrate on the holidays and they say, oh, it's a family barbecue or it's 4th of July, we drink, but they don't drink to intoxication and drive. And that's what you continue to do. And you're blaming it on holidays.
I'm not blaming it on no holiday, I'm just saying, ma'am, that. that's
And
all.
if you drug tested today, what are the results gonna be? When's the last time you drank?
All that. I will come out late.
You come out, no, when's the last time you drank alcohol?
30 weeks ago.
All right, so see, he still has an alcohol problem.
Ma'am, I'm not been driving, ma'am.
No.
Mr.
While you're on probation.
Just go for it.
Here's the
Well,
thing.
now probation is a different story.
Here's the thing, while you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink. And anybody, and normally, whether people are telling the truth or not, normally when they pick up a DWI third, you know what their attorney is able to come in and say? My client hasn't had a drink since that night because they were so terrified and knew that they could have killed somebody. You, on the other hand, you're still relaxing, drinking alcohol. That's why I wanted to know what you do in your spare time. I understand people work construction. It's hot. You want to come home? Let me have a beer. But your problem is you want to come home, have a beer, more than one or whatever you're drinking, and then get out and drive and you can kill somebody. And you're lucky that you did not kill somebody. You understand? And if you don't get it into your mindset that you are one of those people who cannot drink and drive, you're going to end up picking up another DWI. You're going to end up killing somebody. And then you're going to come in here crying and still come before a judge and say, oh, I drank about 3 weeks ago. So you had better change yourself. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't understand why people, if you're going to drink, catch the via. You know what you'd have probably been charged with? Public intoxication. Maybe you would have got hit by a car. I don't know why it is here in San Antonio. San Antonio is the only place I know where people are walking on the freeway. I don't know if that has to do with drinking or what, but this is the only city I've seen that happen. Just as a side note, I'm driving on 410. I'm going the speed limit. And guess what? I'm slamming on my brakes. Everything in the back seat is flying forward. You know why? Because somebody has decided to walk on the freeway and crossing 5 lanes of traffic on the freeway.
Judge, I've never thought about it. You have a point.
Yeah, okay. I could have killed somebody. And I wasn't drinking. Now, if you would have been driving that, maybe you would have ended up killing them. But good luck to you, sir. All right, court is calling 2025 CR 000689, State versus Luis Rivera. Can I have parties announced?
Renee Munoz on behalf of Mr. Rivera.
And are you Mr. Rivera?
Sure, ma'am.
Are there any applications in this case?
No, Judge.
All right, and the court is also calling 2025 CR 00669. In each cause number, did you understand that in the cause number in 69, the state is proceeding on theft of a person. In cause number 89, and in an 89, you're charged with burglary of a building. Those are all state jail felonies. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? In each cause number, did you review the plea bargain agreement with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea bargain agreements in each cause number, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. The cases will run concurrently. There's a $2,000 fine, and the state will take in consideration 2024 CR 009868. Did you understand that to be the plea? Then in cause number 2024 CR 000669, how do you plea? And in cause number 2025 CR 000689, how do you plea? After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments in each cause number, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty in each cause number. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We ask this honorable court to follow the negotiated plea agreement, Judge. My client is asking that we follow this agreement. The circumstances surrounding these offenses were stemmed in drug addiction. He's not proud of the fact that he's here. His addiction issues overtook and overcame his life, and he was having to take things that did not belong to him to feed that need for those drugs that he had become dependent on. He has been in custody some time now, which, has a blank slate. I informed him at the state jail, if this honorable court does accept the plea agreement, to immerse himself in any programs in terms of drug rehabilitation that are offered there. My estimation education is shown to reduce recidivism. So I just advised him to undergo any such vocational or educational programs, as well as advise him that if this honorable court does follow the agreement and he is subsequently, or when he is subsequently released, that even taking a stick of gum can result in another felony charge due to the convictions he now has with regard to the enhancements, Judge. So he's aware of all that and wants to turn it around.
All right. In each cause number, the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility. The case numbers were 1 concurrently. The court will take in consideration 2024 CR 009868. And the court will request the therapeutic community. All right, we can go off the record. When you're released from custody, you need to get into treatment. Otherwise, you're going to be one of those people who end up back and forth in the prison or the jail, or either somebody's going to be identifying your bodies. That's the only 2 ways these can end unless you maintain your sobriety. If you can't find a place that can help you maintain your sobriety, if I'm here, you come back here, I'll pick up the phone, call somewhere, one to get you in a program. You understand? All right, good luck to you, okay? Thank you. Oh, thank you. God bless you too. All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 008783, State versus Rakeem Asmore. Could I have parties announced?
Ashley Jones, State.
Joanne Akel for Mr. Asmore.
And are you Mr. Asmore?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest to count 1 on March 4th. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishments be assessed at a cap of 12 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. Affirmative finding of deadly weapon, and the state opposes your application. There was a PSI and a TAP evaluation completed. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI and TAP evaluation?
Yes.
Yes, Judge.
Any objections?
Judge, I don't have an objection. I do have a correction.
Yes.
Okay, in the evaluation, it indicates that my client is unemployed. He is currently employed
Mhm.
by Burger King.
Okay.
So we would just request that change.
All right. Any witnesses, state,
Not from the state, not.
defense, any witnesses?
Yes, I have 4 witnesses.
All right, call your first witness.
Okay, I think they're waiting outside.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please, sir? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Robert Daniel McDonald,
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. And how are you employed?
police officer with the San Antonio Police Department,
And how long have you been so employed?
24 years.
I'm going to ask you to reflect back to April of 2022 and ask you if you were called out for service for a terroristic threat.
Yes,
Okay, I know that's been a long time. Would it help you if I hand you your police report
Yes,
so you can
please.
refresh your memory? Oh, he's refreshing.
Oh, no, the executive.
Okay, can you tell me where you were called out to, Officer McDonald?
the address is 7313 San Pedro Avenue.
And was that at Jimmy John's?
Yes,
And when you were made this call, you were there to investigate a terroristic threat?
yes,
Okay, what was the nature of the threat? Was a person threatening to shoot up the Jimmy John's?
Objection to hearsay, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be overruled.
You can answer that question.
Yes,
And were you, as part of your investigation, did you discover that Rakeem Asmore worked at the Jimmy John's?
yes,
And the person that was making, as part of your investigation, the person making the threat, was that Ashley Williams?
Say, Your Honor.
Overruled.
yes,
And did you also discover that Ashley Williams was in some sort of relationship with Rakeem Asmore?
Judge
Yeah.
Drinker, say, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be overruled. And let me just tell you, I understand where you're going with this. So this is what I need to know. So with regards to this report, that there was a terroristic threat, who is the person who was calling in this report that there was a terroristic threat?
Not the defendant.
So it wasn't the defendant who called it in.
His employer.
So his employer called it in. All right. So I understand, and I want everybody to know this. I understand the rules of evidence and what's going on, but I'm trying to make a clear decision on whether or not he should be going to prison or whether or not I should give him deferred adjudication. So it appears where this testimony is going is that there was a previous terroristic threat involving the complainant of this instant case. Am I correct?
Correct, Judge.
All right, you may continue.
And those are, I'll pass the witness.
Officer McDonald, you responded that day?
yes,
So the store owner told you that the defendant told the store owner that the victim was making some threats, is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. And to your knowledge, were there any actual charges filed with our office for that case?
I don't know. No idea.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, isn't it correct, Officer McDonald, that the person that actually told you about the threats was the employer of Jimmy John's? The one? So Robert Thomas is the person that gave you the information, not Mr. Asmore.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he stated he got information from the other gentleman.
All right, pass witness.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, is there any objection to the courtroom reading the police report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, you object to that?
Just to say relevance.
Okay. All right.
All right, thank you, Officer McDonald. May he be excused? Do you have any
Yes.
problem with that? Will you send in Officer Young?
Yes.
All right,
Thank
and
you,
the
Officer
the
McDonald.
objection to hearsay will be sustained.
Okay.
I think it's relevant, but the objection to hearsay will be sustained.
I'm calling Officer Young next, Judge.
Okay. Officer Young?
He should be standing right up. I'll get him, Judge.
Okay. All right, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Also, Rodney Young,
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. And how are you employed?
City of San Antonio.
And how long have you been so employed?
17 years.
And I'm gonna ask you to reflect back in September of 2022. Were you called out for a motor vehicle pedestrian collision?
See you before the lights.
I'll hand you a report so you can refresh your memory concerning
you.
that issue.
Yes, I was.
And was this described as a major accident?
Originally came in as a major accident.
And where did you respond to?
We went for a Fulton area.
And when you came, when you responded to that call, did you come into contact with the Rakeem Asmore?
Yes,
And he was the victim in this case?
yes, he was.
And as part of your investigation, did you discover that he was hit by a motor vehicle?
Yes, I did.
And did you also discover the person driving the motor vehicle that hit him was Ashley Williams?
Advised me that it was his ex-girlfriend.
And her name was Ashley Williams?
Yes,
Okay, and did you subsequently, did Mr. Asmore receive any kind of treatment that you're aware of?
the EMS came out and checked him for his injuries he sustained from getting hit.
And did he, are you aware of whether or not he had to receive any kind of other medical treatment?
No, I wasn't.
And how did you end this response to this report? Did you,
Right.
did you give Mr. Asmore a ride?
Yes, I
Oh.
gave him a courtesy ride near his house.
Pass the witness, Judge.
Hi, officer. Can you tell me the date of this report?
September 22nd, 2022.
And the only people on scene was the defendant, Rakeem Asmore,
And there was a witness.
who was witness,
On here it says a Philip Marquez.
Philip Marquez, he was with the defendant, right?
Uh, He wasn't with him, but when I got to the scene, I believe he was.
They were together.
Yes,
And so Ashley Williams was not at the scene, is that correct?
yes, that's correct.
And so the only evidence that you have, or that you had, was the defendant telling you that it was his ex that hit him, is that correct?
Yes,
And the defendant also told you he didn't want to custody charges, isn't that true?
yes,
No further questions.
Isn't it true, Officer Young, that the witness actually observed this accident and observed the vehicle hitting Mr. Asmore? So it wasn't Mr. Asmore reporting it, what happened, it was the witness that was reporting it, correct?
the witness did say yes, he saw the S1 get hit by it.
And as far as you're aware, Mr. Asmore and the witness were not together.
No,
That they didn't even know each other.
that's correct.
Okay, pass the witness.
And just to clarify, the witness told you that he saw a car hit the defendant, is that correct?
Said he was in the drive-through line and this location saw V1 get hit by S1, yes.
Okay, and the defendant is the one who told you who S1 was.
Yes.
Thank you.
Isn't it correct, Officer Young, that you ran a license plate that was provided to you and it came back to Ashley Williams? That's how you discovered her name?
Yeah, he managed to take a picture of the vehicle. When calling the police that, the vehicle that fled the location.
This is the witness telling you this.
Yes.
Okay, so he took a picture of the license plate and that's how it was determined that it was
Yes.
Ashley Williams. Okay, all right, pass the witness.
Further questions?
No
All right,
further
thank you.
questions of the witness. Thank you, Officer Young.
Yes.
Maybe excuse Judge?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll call Deja Young.
Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Deja Young.
All right, you may proceed.
And Ms. Young, can you tell the judge what your relationship is with Rakeem Asmore?
I'm his fiance.
And you probably need to speak up so the court can hear you.
I'm his fiance.
And do you have any children?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
Well, 2 and 1.
Okay, and are those children, is Rakeem Asmore their father
Yes.
for both of the children?
My oldest, no, but he's raised her since she was 2 months.
And how old are your children?
19 months and 6 going on 7 this week.
And you're pregnant with your third child
Yes,
and also Rakeem's child.
yes.
Okay, and are you aware of the reasons why we're in court today?
Yes.
And how long, can you tell the court, how long have you known Rakeem Asmore?
It's 2017.
Can you give some idea of the kind of person you believe that you have known Rakeem Asmore to be?
My perfect guy. I don't know about anybody else, but he's since, I had a situation going on. He's been here for me, even when back in high school. We just kind of were not able to be together at that time because we were just kids, but honestly, I'd say he's a good man to me.
He's been a good man to you and to your
Yes.
children?
For my children, it's definitely a great father.
Have you ever known Rakeem to be a violent person?
No.
Okay. Do you know anything about Rakeem's relationship with Ashley Williams?
Just everything I've heard.
Okay, but you've hadn't had any personal contact with her?
No, not me personally.
Right.
I don't even know what she looks like.
Okay. As part of this charge, did Rakeem spend any time in jail?
Yes.
How much time?
I want to say roughly 9 months.
All right, and do you feel like Rakeem is a person that, do you believe that Rakeem understands now the, his actions were not appropriate in
Yes,
regard to this incident?
yes, for sure. Every day I remind him that how bad it hurt everyone involved in the situation. He's hurt by it too, and I feel like he takes full accountability for it. And he's willing to do whatever it takes to make things right or do better. Be a better man, be a better father, be a better person out here in the world,
Do you believe he's a person that can be rehabilitated?
for sure.
Okay, do you believe that Rakeem is a current danger to the community?
Mhm.
Okay, now you know this is an offense involving a gun. Okay. Do you believe that Rakeem has taken steps to rehabilitate himself?
For sure, as far as he's attending family violence classes, he's working, coming home, taking care of the kids. And they also reached out to him to do start his mental health treatment again.
Okay, so he is Rakeem employed
Yes,
as a full-time employee?
yes, he's a manager at Purr-fect.
Okay, and is that the place that he was working previously?
Yes, for this incident, yes.
Okay.
He was a manager.
Are you aware of any threats that Ashley Williams has made to Rakeem or other members of his family?
Yes,
When was the last one?
Gotta be sustained.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the judge about why you think it would be appropriate to put Rakeem on probation versus sending him to jail?
honestly, I feel like he's learned from the situation and he understands that two wrongs don't make it right. And I know that he wants to be here for his children. He loves his children. He loves his family. And
Do you believe that
I
Rakeem,
feel like he can get it together. Like he's gonna get what he wants, for sure. He's gonna he works hard for what he wants, what he needs. I'll say that,
do you believe that Rakeem would ever make a mistake like this again?
you know. Not with me, no, not on my watch, sure.
And would you be willing to help support if the judge put him on probation?
Sure.
Would you?
I support him to office.
Okay,
I'll continue to.
and you would,
I'm gonna tell you, I'm a strong believer in God. My faith is high. So no matter any decisions made here, it's not gonna, yes, it broke me. But I won't allow it to take my spirit, break my spirit, be strong.
and you would, if the judge allowed Rakeem to be on probation, you would be willing to support him in his probation and getting into whatever classes the judge
Yes.
orders or complying with any other condition of probation?
Sure.
All right, I'll pass witness, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's go off the record. Here's my question. Oh, and your client can come back here. Now, I like to make a decision because y'all are coming to me whether or not to send him to prison or whether or not to give him probation. This is what I need to know. And state, maybe you know this answer. I don't know. Is there evidence out there that the complainant previously tried to run him over, previously committed terroristic threat? I can understand why it's not a self-defense issue that's going on here. But is that true? Does anybody know the answer to that?
Years before this incident,
Mhm.
there were two reports, one a terroristic threat from Jimmy John's as the court has heard, and the other a hit and run as the court has heard. The suspects in those cases were the complainant, were the complainant in this case. However, no charges were ever brought from either of those police reports.
Okay. All righty. We're back on the record. Let's continue.
Thank you, Judge.
Sure.
I call Rakeem Asmore.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Rakeem Asmore.
All right, you may proceed.
Okay, Rakeem, are you working
Yes, ma'am, I am a manager
Where do you work?
at Burger King.
And how long have you been working there?
Before I was incarcerated, I was there for 10 months, going on 10 months now.
All right, and how long were you incarcerated?
9 months.
And when were released?
I was released, February, I want to say 26.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
I have one stepchild, a 19-month-old. I have a biological one, 6 months, and I have one on the way. So 2 children.
All right, are you currently involved in taking classes to help you with your rehabilitation?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, have you completed some of those classes?
I completed my anger management. I completed my gun safety. I completed my parenting. I'm currently enrolled in fifth family violence class, and I'm gonna start taking. Forgot the name of the other class I'm going to take.
Is it the moral recognition therapy?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you receive certificates for your anger management class, your gun safety class, and your parenting class?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
All right, and do you have those certificates with you today?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right. And Judge, we have these certificates for those classes if the board wants to look at them. Here. Thank you, Judge. Can you just tell the judge briefly what happened the day this incident occurred? What started this incident?
I was just getting off work, ma'am. I stopped by the store to get cigars. I ran into my ex-girlfriend. I ended up leaving. She rammed the back of my car. She had took off, and I had
Hold on, let
got.
me stop you there. She rammed the back of your car?
Yes, ma'am. She smashed the back of my vehicle.
Okay. Were you afraid when this occurred?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Okay, is that resulted in you chasing her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you understand now the mistake you made by chasing?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I understand.
And did you do this because of your past history
No,
with
ma'am.
her,
Yeah, technically, yes. I didn't know what she was gonna do after that, so I really acted out of fear.
and you were afraid of her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you know that we're here today for the judge to make a decision as to whether or not to allow you to be on probation or for you to go to jail.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is it fair to say, since you've been out of jail in February, you've completed all the classes that you told the judge about?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently involved in the batterers intervention and prevention program?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Did you register for that as soon as you were released from jail?
Of course, yes, ma'am, I did.
Did it take you a while to become registered?
No, ma'am, it took me a couple days, like 2 or 3 days.
But the class didn't start for about a month.
Right.
So, right, so how many classes have you attended?
I attended 3 classes.
And how long do the classes last?
They're 6 months long.
And when do you go?
I go every Thursdays, 5:30 to 7:30.
Okay, and are you planning to complete these classes?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, you also said that you're also dealing with your mental health.
Correct,
Can
yes,
you,
ma'am.
can you tell the judge what you're doing about your mental health issue?
I'm seeking a counselor. I'm seeking. They're gonna start putting me back on medication, ma'am.
Okay, let me stop you there. Where are you seeking help?
At Palo Alto Clinic.
Is that the Center for Healthcare Services?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, and you've already been there for an evaluation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're supposed to, do you have another appointment coming up soon?
Yes, ma'am, on the 8th, no, on the 12th.
12th of May?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so and as far as you're aware, they're gonna make a decision as to the medication that if you need medication?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you willing to take this medication if it's prescribed?
Yes, ma'am, because I do have some issues going on.
Okay, do you think part of the treatment's gonna be counseling?
Oh, yes, counseling, therapy, all that.
And are you willing to participate in all of that?
Yes, ma'am, I am willing.
And you set all this up yourself?
Correct.
All right, have you ever been on probation before?
No, ma'am. Just juvenile.
Okay, what about adult probation for a theft?
No, ma'am.
Yes, you have.
Oh, yeah.
Your attorney says, yes, you have.
Remember that? That was, I think it was in 2018, Matt. That's been a while. Let me see. Did you complete that probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been on felony probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you feel like that you could comply with all the conditions of probation that the judge assesses?
Of course, yes, ma'am.
If the judge requires you to attend any kind of outpatient treatment for drugs, are you willing to do that?
Yes, ma'am, I am willing.
And I think, I believe you were placed on probation for theft in September of 2018. And you did complete that?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Do you think you're a danger to the community, Rakeem?
No, ma'am.
Will you ever engage in any kind of behavior like this again?
No, ma'am, I won't.
What have you learned from this incident, Rakeem?
I learned I don't need to react to every situation. I need to respond better. And I need to not react off my emotions. I need to learn how to call the authorities before taking matters in my own hand. And I need to learn how to walk away from the situation and be a grown man about it instead of acting like a child about it.
And as part of your history with Ashley Williams, has she made threats against you and your family previously?
Yes, ma'am, she has.
When was the last one?
Like around September 2022.
I thought there weren't any texted threats.
Objection to me.
That'll be sustained.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the judge about why she should give you probation instead of sending you to the penitentiary?
Because 9 months I've been incarcerated. I really learned my lesson, ma'am. It opened my eye to be a better person, and two wrongs do not make a right. I have kids that I need to take care of, ma'am. I make an impact at my job. My GM is planning on making me assistant manager. So I really want to take that chance to run my own store one day. And I really just learned not to react in certain situations. I gotta come better as an adult. And just being around other inmates, seeing how their life is, that's not how I want my life to be. I feel like prison's not gonna make me no better or worse, or just,
You know, the judge is concerned about any kind of danger to the community. Do you feel like you would be a danger to the community in the future?
no, man.
All right, I'll pass the witness, Judge.
State.
Just, Mr. Asmore. Quick question, you said after your car was hit, you said you didn't know what she was going to do,
Right.
but you did see her drive away and into a parking lot, isn't that correct? Okay. And you said you were afraid, isn't that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But your solution to that was to chase her?
I really just reacted the wrong way. I was just in shock. I was scared, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like I needed to take matters into my own hand, but now I realize I should have called the authorities. I should have made a police report. I should have waited on the crime scene.
And
So
I appreciate that, but my
Yes,
question
ma'am.
was, you thought you were afraid, so you chased her with the gun, isn't that correct?
yes, ma'am.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, any other questions?
Just briefly. And Mr. Asmore, did Ashley Williams run over you with a car?
Yes, ma'am, she has.
And did she call your work and threaten to shoot up your workplace?
Yes,
Objection,
ma'am.
Chris.
All right, that'll be
Pass the
over.
witness. I have no further questions, Judge.
I have some questions.
Okay.
All right. From reading the stipulations, she's saying you brake checked her.
No, ma'am, I didn't break check her.
All right, so walk me through this. You're at the Valero
Yes, ma'am.
and you see her.
Correct.
And where were you? When you say you're at the Valero, were you inside the convenience store part? Were you at the gas pumps? What was going on?
I had parked my vehicle. I was pumping gas. I went inside the store. She had followed me. She went inside the store as well. I hurried up and walked out. I bought cigars. I was pumping my gas. We didn't exchange no words. She was at a pump on side of me. Everything was cool. I got into my car. I was still in my work uniform. I pulled out. She pulled up behind me. Next thing I know, she smashed me. My car does a whole 360 in the middle of Calabria Road. She takes off. That's when I did what I did now. I got out of my vehicle
And shot at her.
yes, ma'am.
And where did this shooting actually occur? Was this in the parking lot of CVS Pharmacy or somewhere else?
No, ma'am, it was on the corner of Calabria and Ingram.
Now, here's my other question, and this is not as for a question for you, it's the question of the parties. So did anybody have any CV footage of the accident? Because if this is happening outside the Valero, the camera's outside the Valero, if it's on Calabria, there are different convenience stores all along Calabria that can see what's happening towards the street area. Did anybody collect that?
To my knowledge, Your Honor, I believe there were a couple of attempts to collect surveillance, but none was able to secure. The surveillance showed from CBS showed a male running across the parking lot.
All right, but nobody did any thought to grab any information that would show or any evidence that would show the accident as it occurred?
I do think
And I'm saying accident. I don't know if it's an intentional or not because I haven't seen a video of it.
Judge, there's not even a crash report that was ever filed.
Okay.
but to answer the court's question, I do think there was attempts to get surveillance. Like I said, from CBS, it was non-inclusive. However, there were several witnesses that the cops did speak to at the scene.
But about this car crash. All right, because what I recall from stipulations is people are saying they believe there was a car crash, but nobody saw a car crash. And I don't know where they came up with, the witnesses came up with, they believe there was a car crash.
There was a witness that said there was a car crash, Judge. I think it's in the stipulations. You want me to look for it, Judge?
I don't know, I'll look through, let me see.
What I have, Your Honor, it sounds like
Mhm.
heard a what sounded like a car crash.
Yes, but nobody saw it. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Here's the thing, there are some missing pieces to this case. And let me tell you what the missing pieces are. The missing pieces are, one, were there previous terroristic threats made against you by the complainant, which, you know, you bring officers in here, people normally say they're supposed to believe the officer wrote the report. Then we have this witness testifying that outside of the terroristic threat to that his employer called in or whoever called in, he's testifying that there have been terroristic threats against his family members. Then we have this car crash. Do you all have the complainant?
No, Your Honor. And the state would just like the court to note that those reports that you have heard were 2 years before this incident.
All right, and I understand that, but if you think about it, we can go off the record. Let's for a moment assume that this is a female before me. And there's a male who 2 years before committed a terroristic threat, threatened the family, and then the female sees this male at Valero. Will we be making the same argument about it occurred 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So I just look at people as people. So I'm going to give you a choice here because there are some missing pieces to this case. These are your two choices. These are the only two choices you have with regards to sentencing in this case. So don't ask for anything else. Two choices. One, the state is asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 12 years in the prison. I'll give you two. Or I'm going to give you a deferred adjudication, and it'll be deferred adjudication for 10 years. You can step back and discuss that with your attorney and discuss it with whomever you need to discuss with, but those are your only two options. So don't come to me with a third option. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, thank you. All righty, y'all can come forward.
Judge.
All right, is there an answer to my question?
Yes, Judge, my client would like the deferred.
Okay. All right, we're back on the record in 2024 CR 008783. And you decided that you would prefer deferred adjudication, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is going to sentence you to 10 years deferred adjudication. there's a $1,500 fine. That will be probated. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There should be no contact with the complainant. If the complainant reaches out and contacts you, I suggest you call the police. Your attorney will tell you what you need to do, or either call your probation officer to let them know. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes, and I believe he already has done those, and probation, that will be acceptable. And there'll be 100 hours deducted for parenting classes. And the remaining 100 hours will be deducted for once he completes the BIP. I'm going to order the BIPP course. I know he's done an anger management course, but I want the BIP. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month for 8 months. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And state,
Yes,
with regards to the GPS. What are your requests?
for full house arrest GPS.
I mean, he's been working. Hasn't he been working?
He's been working, Judge.
Sure, yes. Partial GPS.
All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start you off with partial GPS for employment. If you do well on that, you can come back and within 3 months, then I'll do it for curfew. And then if you do well after that for 3 more months, then you'll be off GPS.
Okay, and for the court's information, he has been on partial GPS since February, I guess he was released from jail.
I understand, but so come back in 3 months, then if there are no violations on GPS, we will do just a curfew. And
So,
then 3 more months, if there are no violations, then you'll be off.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. So it'll be partial GPS for employment until further notice. And I'll just say until further notice, but you already have what the court's thoughts are on that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Maybe
God
next
bless you,
year.
Justice.
All right, thank you. God bless you too.